How did one of the world's most polarizing candies last 2,000 years? Let's talk about the history of black licorice. Now, licorice comes from the Glycyrrhiza glabra plant. In Greek, it means sweet root, but if you're like, Glycyrrhiza, why might I know that name? You might be thinking of glycyrrhizin, which is the compound that lends to the sweetness, which is actually 50 times sweeter than sugar. Now, initially, this root was used by the Greeks, the Romans, and the Egyptians for medicinal purposes. And, it kind of tasted very medicinal to them at that time. And they used it as throat lozenges and for digestive issues. A little ancient Egyptian tea is that licorice root was even found in King Tut's tomb. Flash forward to the Middle Ages, and monks were cultivating licorice root in monasteries across Europe. And it started to become a staple in apothecaries, again, for medicinal purposes. Now, in the mid-1700s in England, they started adding a little bit of sugar into these licorice extracts, these tinctures, as medicine, just to make it a little bit more palatable. And this kind of started the whole way that we end up getting the candies. There is a town called Pontefract in Yorkshire, and this place was like, guys, we gotta create a candy out of this, obviously, because why wouldn't we? They're called Pontefract cakes, and the fun fact is you can still very much find these candies today. The company Haribo makes a version of them. These are not cakes. The word cake is actually just a word for something that is kind of like compressed, flat, rather than like a birthday cake. I don't think you'd want to eat a whole birthday cake unless you're like a licorice stan. So licorice as a whole is made differently depending on where you are around the globe. So the flavor, the texture, all of that is also going to vary depending on where you get it around the world from where it's produced. In areas like Europe, in the Netherlands, and different Nordic countries, they love a variety. It's a salmiak variety. So if you've ever been or had it, it kind of has a salty quality. I don't know if you've ever had a salty licorice. That could also be an added layer of polarizing to you. I kind of like a little bit of a little salty. They have some that are like extremely salty. I cannot handle those. Then you have similar to this right here, which is an Australian licorice, which is going to be a softer chew, a little bit more of a mild, sweeter flavor. And then you have the American versions, which a lot of people really detest, probably the worst kinds. And I love black licorice too, so. And if you want to learn more about the history of black licorice, you can tune into this full episode. You can watch the episode on YouTube at the I Am Sprung channel, or you can listen as a podcast wherever you get your podcast. Just search for Sprung on Food.